You know those volunteers, the ones who are always there, who just get it? Ever wonder how you can take that passion and turn it into real leadership? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today. How to build a real, intentional pathway to turn your best helpers into amazing team leads. Let's get into it.
And this right here, this is the whole game. The organizations that truly make a massive impact don't just cross their fingers and hope leaders show up. Nope, they build the system, the blueprint that creates them. It's a strategic choice, not just a happy accident.
So what's the big idea here? It all comes down to something I call the leadership multiplier. I mean, just picture it. One coordinator trying to manage 50 people. It's an absolute recipe for burnout, right? Things are going to fall through the cracks. But what if you empower 5 of your best volunteers to each lead a team of 10? Suddenly, it's not just manageable, it's scalable. It completely changes what your organization is capable of.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to dig into that multiplier effect a little more. Then, we'll lay out a clear 4-level pathway for growth. After that, we'll talk about how to spot those future leaders, how to train them up right, and finally, how to manage the whole system and avoid the common traps. You know, this isn't just about making the math work. Volunteer leaders bring a kind of secret weapon to the table, peer-to-peer credibility. And that's something that even the most amazing staff member just can't replicate. It's a total game changer for your culture.
Let's be real for a second. Think about when you start a new job. Are you going to go to the big boss with what you think is a dumb question? Probably not. But you'll absolutely ask the person next to you who's been there for a few months. It's the same exact principle. This creates a space where new folks feel safe to learn, and that makes everyone more effective.
Okay, so if you're sold on the why, let's get into the how. You can't just whisk leaders into existence. You have to build a ladder, a clear roadmap that shows every single volunteer how they can grow with you. Let's break down what this 4-level system actually looks like.
Think of it as a journey. First, you just learn your role. Then you get good enough to help others. Then you step up to officially lead a team. And finally, you get to a place where you're helping steer the whole ship. It's a really logical and clear progression.
So everyone starts at level 1, the contributor. This is ground zero. For the first few months, the only goal is to get comfortable. Learn the tasks, figure out the culture, and just get good at their job. There is zero pressure to be a leader at this stage. None. But then, after a few months, you'll start to notice something. Some folks will hit level 2. They're not just doing their job well, they're the people that other volunteers naturally turn to for help. You didn't ask them to mentor anyone, they just start doing it. That's a huge signal right there. And here's the big jump. Level 3 is the volunteer lead. Now it's official. They get a small team, maybe 5 to 10 people, and they are responsible for them. They're training the new folks, making sure the work is top-notch. Their team's success is their success. This is a real leadership role. And finally, at the very top, you've got program leadership. These are your veterans, your senior advisors. They're looking beyond their one team and are now helping you shape the big picture, thinking about strategy and really helping guide the future of the entire program.
So, you've built this beautiful ladder. Now, who do you actually invite to climb it? This is so important. Not every amazing volunteer wants to be a leader, and that is 100% okay. Your job is to become a bit of a detective and look for the specific signals.
So what are you looking for? Well, the basics are obvious. They show up, they do a great job, but look deeper. Are they the ones asking why things are done a certain way? Are they the unofficial go-to person on their shift? When something's not working, do they bring you a solution or just a complaint? Those are your clues.
And when you've spotted someone, you can't just say, hey, want to be a lead? No way. The ask needs to have weight. It needs to be intentional. You start by telling them exactly why you see potential in them. You praise their specific contributions. You make them feel seen. This isn't a demand. It's a heartfelt invitation.
Awesome, they said yes. Okay, now your real work begins. And please, don't make the biggest mistake most organizations make, promoting someone and then just walking away. That's a recipe for disaster. Training isn't optional, my friends. It's everything. Remember, being a fantastic contributor and being a great leader are 2 totally different skill sets. You have to give them the tools. They need to know how to onboard someone new, how to give feedback that actually helps, how to handle small conflicts, and this one is critical. They need to know when a problem is too big for them and it's time to call you. All right, your new leaders are trained and they're in their roles. Now we're in the final phase, ongoing management and support. And just as importantly, we need to talk about the common traps, the anti-patterns that can totally derail a great program.
And that support system has to grow right along with your program. I mean, look at this. When you're small, a meeting every other week might be enough. But once you hit 75 or even 150 volunteers, that's not going to cut it. You need weekly check-ins, you need more staff support. The structure has to scale or things will start to break. Okay, pitfall number 1. And if you hear nothing else, hear this. Do not promote someone without training them. I'm telling you, it's the fastest way to burn out a fantastic volunteer. You're not helping them, you're setting them up to fail, and you'll likely lose them for good. It's lose, lose, lose.
And the other huge mistake? Treating your new leaders just like every other volunteer. Come on, they've stepped up, they're carrying more responsibility. If you don't acknowledge that with a little more recognition, maybe some small perks, or just more of your time and attention, they're going to feel taken for granted, and nobody sticks around where they feel unappreciated.
So let's bring this all home. Volunteer leadership is how you grow and scale your impact. You do it by creating clear pathways for people to follow, you make training non-negotiable, and you build a culture where your leaders feel supported, recognized, and valued. It's really that simple.
I want to leave you with a little piece of homework. Right now, as you're listening, who are the first 3 names that pop into your head? The ones showing those little sparks of leadership. Got them? Good. Your next step is to pick just one of those names. And this week, ask them to grab a coffee to chat. That conversation is where this whole journey begins.